Welcome, everybody. Go ahead and put yourself in a comfortable seated position. I'll scoot back a little bit so I can show how my legs are. Whereas I like to be a little close at the beginning so I can see when you all arrive. Feel free to use the chat window to say hello, and goodbye. Let me know if you have anything going on. I'll watch the chat from time to time and see if you have anything you want to say. Here we are. Happy Monday, right? Another week. I'm really glad that all of you made it to yoga. I know from even for myself, whose whole life is centered around the practice of yoga, there's a sluggishness that's starting to set in for me. And so I have to make myself move. So you're right to do what you're doing. Let's see what, come a little closer so I can see what's happening with all of you. Oh, hi, Glennis. Nice to see you again. Hi, Deborah. Elaine. Oh, yay. Good. Old Tarzana student. Not an old person, but a student from many years ago, back in the Yoga Works Tarzana days. Well, the blessing of this situation is, of course, I don't have to drive over the hill to get to Tarzana, and Elaine, you don't have to drive over the hill to get to my West Side classes, and yet we can gather together and practice yoga. And I hope all of you are getting some things done that have eluded you with a busy schedule, that you're spending some time cultivating a sense of quietness deep inside. And that we're kind of riding the waves of emotions through this time. So, good days you're cherishing and fulfilling responsibilities, and then those tough days you're giving yourself self care, compassion, and space to feel however you're feeling on that particular day. Okay, from here, I want you to place your hands slightly behind you. Press your hands down, lift your bottom chest to your top chest. And then place your hands on your thighs, keeping your chest uplifted. Allow the middle of your thighs to release down towards the floor. And then join your hands together at your heart. Those of you familiar with the invocation to Patanjali, join me. Others, just soak in the vibration of the chant. If you hadn't already, close your eyes from top to bottom. Yogena chitasya Arena vacham malam shairasya shavai jakena yopakartam pravaram muninam Patanjalim Pranjalir Anatosmi Abahu Purushakaram Shankar Chakrasidaryam Sahasra Shirasam Shredam Pranamami Patanjalim Hari Om. Lift your chest. Wear it to your hands. Wear your hands to your thighs. Raise your head and lift your eyes open. Okay, from here, you're going to take the bottoms of your feet together and release your knees out to the sides. Now, at this point, you may be someone who needs to add another blanket under their buttocks. Okay, so if you need to do that, do that. How do you know? If your knees are up like this, then you want to add extra blankets or a block underneath your buttocks so that your legs start to come down. Now, this inner leg area should be softening and releasing towards your inner knees so that your knees have a feeling of moving away from each other. Okay, stay there, take a couple breaths, a couple things showing up on the chat. Oh, good. Yay. Oh, yes, it's so nice to see everybody. Oh, good. Okay, thank you for saying hello. Now, once you got your groins to soften and release, like we did at the beginning of class, press your hands down and lift your chest up. I'm going to now turn to this side so you can see the next part of what we're going to do. So I was here sitting upright, but now do you see I'm leaning back? So I'm no longer working with my shoulders over my hips. And what you'll find when you do this is that your groins soften and release more easily when you sit back a bit. So now once again, I'll show the inner groin is releasing towards the inner knee. Inner knee is rolling to the outer knee. Outer knee is drawing back into the outer hip. And you can really feel the connection of your femur bone rotating in your hip socket. Now your goal is to keep your legs where they are and then slowly start to sit up so that you're maintaining that freedom in your groins. And even now you can see on me, and probably you'll feel on you, that your groins are softer now. Now from here, take your hands to your outer knees, draw your knees together. Excuse me, extend your legs forward. I'm fine, don't worry. It's been so cold in Venice Beach, California. I know people are streaming from everywhere, but it's been so cold and down here. Okay, so those of you that are able, you know, we've been working a lot on using the legs to lift the body off the floor. But if that's not the right thing for you, then certainly I don't want you to do it. Now, Adho Mukha Virasana, most of you are familiar with this pose, knees apart. But for today, I actually want you to take your knees a little farther apart than you usually do. Now I have cross mats here. I don't want you to have your knees on a wooden floor, so you could turn your mat the other way so your knees have padding. So it's that same releasing in the inner groins that we worked on, but it's slightly different experience when you're sitting upright. Now, you're going to come forward, walk your hands forward, and place your forehead down. Now you'll feel letting go in the inner groins as you come into the pose. So be here for a couple breaths. Put a blanket under your head if you need it. If the stretch feels too strong, you can always bring your legs slightly closer. Now, from your bottom side rib area, extend your arms towards the wall in front of you. Spread your fingers, open your palms, and then pressing down through your palms, lift your elbows up and drive your armpits down. That's actually a triple action. And then walk your hands back and come up. Now you can bring your knees closer to show from the side. We're taking Adho Mukha Svanasana, but what's different about the way we're taking the pose today is your little fingers are on the edge of the mat, and then when you come up, your little toes are on the edge of the mat. So it's a way of decentralizing the pose. So go ahead and come up into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, decentralizing your hands so they're at the edge of your mat, decentralizing your feet so your little toes are on the edge. And then once you're established in the pose, start to feel what's different when you decentralize your limbs. There's a spaciousness, right? And with space comes freedom. Now we're going to work with the pose energetically, right? So I want you to pull the skin on the front of your thighs up towards your hips and cut the front of your ankles towards the wall behind you as you extend your inner heels towards the wall behind you. Do you feel that was a lot of actions that brought a sense of stability and spaciousness to your legs? Similarly, you're going to press the thumb side of your hands down, pull the skin of your upper arms up, and then keep going and lift your outer upper arms towards your outer hips so you feel more length and freedom in your spine, more space. And then maintaining that stability in your arms and legs, on your next exhalation, move from your upper spine towards your sternum plate. So that upper spine is on the other side of the sternum plate. That area moves towards your legs. Now keep your legs where they are. That's a wide distance, a decentralized position. And then you're going to walk your hands to your feet. Do you see I'm just checking to make sure that my outer heels are on the outer edge? I'm going to place my hands on the backs of my thighs, backs of my calves, and then extend the crown of my head down to the floor. So I'll come a little closer. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this pose anyway, but you can see my hands are on the backs of my thighs and I'm extending down. Yeah, you can see. Now, like you did in Adho Mukha Svanasana, pull the skin on the front of your thighs up. Now, bring your hands to the backs of your thighs. Spread the backs of your thighs from inside out. And then bring your hands to the backs of your calves. This time you're going to spread the skin of your calves from inside out. Once again, holding that external rotation, bending your elbows out to the side and releasing the crown of your head down to the floor. Now from here, bring your hands to your hips, pressing your heels down, lifting the front of your thighs up. On an inhalation, come up and out. And then step your feet together, come into Tadasana. So take a couple breaths in an upright position. So we often start class with those three poses, just sort of get the whole body, mind, and breath into a state of yoga. Now bring that cultivated state of yoga to an upright standing position. This is how we usually view the world, right? From this Tadasana, or you could say we're sitting in a chair like that, but we're more oriented to the world in this manner. So we're going to do Vriksasana tree pose. And so now bring your hands to your hips. Now 2 points need to be very reinforced for standing balancing poses, excuse me, which is the touch of your feet on your mat and the gaze of your eyes at eye level. So try to avoid looking at the computer unless your computer's at eye level, but most of us don't have our computers there. So, press the inner edge of your left foot down. We're going to go in 3 stages. Do you see the first stage? I'm putting my right heel on the inner edge of my left ankle. Okay, and this is often referred to as the Krishna pose, Krishna stage of the pose. Use like Krishna with this flute. Now, for some of you, you're going to go to the next stage. I'm putting my foot on my calf. It's not on my knee. There's my knee. It's below my knee on my calf. Okay, for those of you that can, you're going to drag your foot all the way up to the inner upper edge of your left thigh and then put your foot there. Okay, so either stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3. In all stages, you're going to soften and release your inner groins towards your inner knees, roll your inner knees to your outer knees, and then draw your outer knee into your outer hip. Now with one coordinated action, come out of the pose. Take a couple breaths. Be back in Tadasana, but feel the difference in your right and left sides after taking that pose. Now, hands to hips. Come back into the first stage of the pose. I'm putting my left heel on the inner edge of my right ankle. And this is a way you can do the pose without using a wall. If you say, well, I never can balance, you can do it this way. This is also a stage. It's a recognized stage. Others can go up to the calf. That's also nice. Remember, you're avoiding your knee. And then others can bring your foot to the inner upper edge of your thigh, stabilizing that foot on the thigh by drawing your outer right hip in. Eyes at eye level. The gaze should be soft. Half your gaze should be looking towards your spiritual heart center. And then in one motion, legs and arms come down. Okay? So from here, bring your hands to your hips and step your legs apart. We're taking Utthita Trikonasana extended triangle pose. If you feel like you need a block, you're welcome to take a block at this stage. So press down on the heels of your feet. Lift the front of your thighs from knees up towards your hip sockets. And then like we did at the very beginning, lift your bottom chest to your top chest, taking your shoulders back and down. Now, from here, reach your arms out to the sides. You're going to turn your left foot in, revolve your right leg out, and then press the outer edge of your left heel down, drive the middle of your left thigh back, and then lift the skin on the front of your right thigh up. Now, maintaining straight, stable legs. On an exhalation, reach out over your left leg. Right leg. Put your right hand down and take your left arm up. Did you see how I came into the pose as one smooth movement? So that's what you're looking for. You're looking towards that as a way of entering and leaving the pose. Now, one more time, press the outer edge of your left foot down, drive the middle of your left thigh back, lift the skin of your right thigh up, and now roll your left shoulder over your right shoulder. Now, in one smooth motion, you're going to press the outer edge of your left foot down. On an inhalation, come up. Turn your toes forward. Bring your hands to your hips and take a couple of breaths here. Just want to look at the chat window to see if anyone has any questions about the pose. Okay, someone's having a delay. That must be on your end because I haven't heard anyone else mention that. So now you're here, again, pressing down through your heels, lifting the skin on the front of your thighs up, driving the middle of your thighs back. Now maintain that stabilizing of your legs. Reach your arms out to the side. Turn your right foot in. Revolve your left leg up. You can see my two legs are doing two very different things. Press the outer edge of your right foot down. Pull the middle of that right thigh back. And then pressing the ball of your left foot down, lift the skin of that left leg up. Now watch. I'm going to come into the pose as one smooth movement, right? So everything stayed coordinated. I'm coming into the pose. You're welcome to use a block if you need it. Again, you're going to press the outer edge of that right foot down. Drive the middle of your right thigh back. Lift the skin of your left thigh up, and then roll your right shoulder above your left shoulder. Now, in one smooth motion, I'm going to come up, turn my toes forward, and then take my hands back to my hips. So be here, catch up with me. Or if you went faster than me, then wait for me. Press down through your heels, pull up on the front of your thighs, lift that skin, lift your chest up. This time you're going to look up on an exhalation, come forward, bring your hands, slide them down your calves, either hold your calves or the backs of your ankles. Now you can see that I'm here. I'm not trying to put my head down. That's not the pose I'm doing right now. I'm taking a pause between poses to soften my abdomen and soften my navel band area. Now from here, look up, come onto your fingertips. Again, blocks can be used if they're needed. And then you're going to plant your left hand down, raise your right arm up, and come into a twist, turning your abdomen and chest to the right, taking your right arm above your left arm. And then come back through the center, come back to a state of sama, or the same. And then you're going to place your other hand down, left hand down, right hand down, raise your left arm up towards the ceiling, and then come into a twist, turning your abdomen and chest to the left. And then come back through the center, come upright, press your heels down, bring your hands to your hips. On an inhalation, come up and out. Now, walk your feet together. Okay, so now you're going to lie down on your back with your legs bent. You can see, yes. And then take your hands and adjust the flesh of your buttocks towards your heels. Take your hands, lift your head up, and bring your head down closer to the wall behind you. Now from here, you're going to reach your right arm inside your right leg, grab your right big toe. Notice I'm taking the knee down to the floor, heel up towards the ceiling. And then I'm going to take my left leg in a Supta Baddha Konasana position, placing my left hand on my left thigh. Now, you're going to take your right leg to the side, but do you see my right leg is straight? And then I'm going to bring it upright and do it again, and bring it upright and do it again. So you should feel in two different ways that your inner groins are being touched, softened, and opened. Okay? Now one more time, right leg to the side, and then bring it back to the center. Take your left hand behind your left knee, lift your left leg up, put the foot on the floor, put your right foot on the floor. Okay, so really feel how in two different ways we open the groins. The right hip should feel much more open than the left, but the left groin should feel very open. Now I'm going to show it from the same orientation so you can see it from a different angle. So now you bend your left leg, you grab your left big toe, you put the heel, place the heel above your knee. It's like a half happy baby pose. That's my left leg. My right leg comes into Supta Baddha Konasana with my right hand on top of that right leg. Now watch or do. Take your left leg, it's bent. Many of you have done this with a straight leg, right? This time we're doing it with a bent leg. And you're just using some momentum and getting that thigh bone to move deep in the hip socket. Okay, one more time. And then you're going to bring your heel above your hip. Watch, I'm going to take my hand behind my right leg, lift my right leg up towards the ceiling, and then bring my left leg down to the floor. Now from here, roll onto your right side and sit up. Okay, so we're going to stay close to the floor in a kneeling position. If your knees are sensitive, you can place a blanket. Do you see I have a blanket sort of up in the size that it's folded on the shelf, and I'm putting that on top of my mat. Okay, now you want to kneel up on your mat. So I'm just going to quickly show from the back so you can see my knees and feet are apart. Okay, and then I'm turning around. So knees and feet apart. We're taking Parigasana, which is a gate latch pose. It's very similar to Utthita Trikonasana, the standing pose that we did. It's just that one leg is bent. So I'll show you what I mean. So from here, you're going to press your left shin down, bend your right leg. Do you see now it's in the bent position like it was in the pose we just did on the floor, just moving some things out of the way. And then you're going to straighten your right leg. Can you see my toes are up? I'm sorry the lighting isn't very good today. It was such a beautiful day and now it's very gloomy in Venice Beach, California. Now, so I'm pressing through my right heel and like Utthita Trikonasana, pulling the skin on the front of that right thigh up. Okay, now remember, like Utthita Trikonasana, you're going to take your arms out to the side. Now this time, when I lean over the right leg, I'm going to take my right hand and slide it down my right leg. And I'm going to pause like I did in Utthita Trikonasana with my left arm straight up. It's not the full pose, but it's a stage of the pose. So can you see, can you feel, more importantly, the similarity between the poses? Now, like you did in Utthita Trikonasana, pressing down through that left shin, you're going to roll your left shoulder over your right shoulder. Now, pressing that left shin down, one smooth motion on an inhale, come up, hands to hips, step that leg in, pause, and take a couple of breaths. Okay, now press your right shin down. Do you see I start with my leg bent? And then you straighten the leg. You can see on this side more clearly that my toes are up. And it's okay if you didn't do it that way on the first side. There's many ways to do it that are correct. Okay, so from here, take your arms out to the side, press your right shin down. Now, as I go over my left leg, can you see I'm going to slide my arm down and take my right arm up. Now, you'll feel a difference side to side. One side you'll be able to slide more, one side not as far. It's not important how far you go. The point is that you feel that you're able to integrate the foundational points, pressing the right shin down, for example, with the mobilizing points, rolling your left shoulder above your right shoulder above your left shoulder. And now pressing your right shin down, come up, step your foot in, and hands to hips. Take a couple breaths. coming close to read the window. Are the toes of the back foot tucked under or the top of the foot down? Good question. The toes are flat. Okay, so I'm showing from the back. The toes are not tucked under. The front of the ankles are pressing down. Okay, so I'll refer to front of ankles pressing down as we take the pose the second time. Thank you for asking and clarifying. Okay, so you're here. Now press the front of your ankles down. Now the truth of that is some of you will go to press the front of your ankles down, but they won't touch. But the goal is that the front of your ankles will touch. Now pressing the front of your left ankle down, step your right leg out to the side. Remember to straighten your right leg, pressing through the heel and pulling the skin on the front of your right thigh up towards the ceiling. Now, we'll go back to taking the arms out to the side, press the front of your left ankle down, and then on an exhalation again, you're gonna bring your right arm over your right leg. Now this time, look what I'm doing with my left arm. I'm reaching my left arm over. Again, we're not finishing the pose today, but we're working with the stage. Now, the important thing here is once you press the front of your left ankle down, watch, you need to turn, rotate your chest, rotate your shoulder up towards the ceiling. And then pressing the front of your left ankle down on an inhalation, come up, and then step your leg in and catch your breath. Now pressing the front of your ankles down again, going to take the left leg out. You can start with it bent so that this right hip stays over the right knee and then straighten it. You can see the toes are up. Now pressing the front of your right ankle down, lift the skin of the front of your left thigh up. So we have a foundational pressing down and an effortful lifting up through that other leg. Start with your arms out to the side, pressing the front of your right ankle down. Lean to the left, put your left hand down, go back through the pose that we did before with the arm up, but then keep taking the arm over. Now the arm position is more similar to Uttita Parsvakonasana. Some of you are familiar with the names of the poses, so you know what I mean. Now, my chest is dropped to the floor. So pressing the front of my right ankle down, watch, I'm gonna roll my right shoulder above my left shoulder, roll my chest up towards the ceiling. And then pressing the front of the ankle down, on an inhalation, come up. From here, watch, I'm gonna take my knees and feet together, adjust my calves, and then sit down. If anyone has trouble sitting down directly on your heels, you're welcome to put a blanket or a bolster or something between your buttocks and your heels. Now from here, Urdhva Baddha and Gulyasana. And for those of you that are not comfortable sitting like I'm showing, you can sit on the floor with your legs outstretched. And then on an inhalation, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. You want to extend from your outer armpits up through and beyond your wrists. And then start to take your arms slightly towards the back edge of your ears. And then take your arms down. Watch, I'm going to change the order, so I'll show you close up. My fingers were like this. Now I'm going to change the order of the interlock of the fingers. Once again, press my palms forward, and then on an inhalation, raise my arms up, reach up. Now, once again, extend from your outer armpits through and beyond your little fingers, release your shoulders down, and then move your arms slightly back. And then release your arms. I'm going to show from the side, so you come out of the pose, Come onto your hands and knees, cross your ankles, sit behind your feet, and extend your legs forward. Some of you may already be there. And then from here, you'll cross your ankles and come to work with more the classic limb position, which is that your arms are shoulder distance. Your legs are also shoulder distance. So you're not decentralizing, but you're exploring the pose from a more classic setup. Be there, catch your breath, let your head release. Lift the front of your thighs up, cut the front of your ankles back, extend your inner heels back and down. And then pressing your hands down, draw your arms up, lift your outer hips up, drive your shoulder blades towards your chest. And then walk your hands to your feet, bring your hands to your hips. On an inhalation, come up and out. Okay, so I'm going to show a variation. So those of you that do Shirshasana headstand, I should start there. Those of you that do Shirshasana headstand, go ahead and do that. I'm not going to instruct that today. Some days I do. If you ever want me to instruct it or something else as a variation, let me know. But what I would like most of you to do that are not doing headstand, everyone that's not doing headstand, is you're going to take your legs up the wall, but then do you see I'm separating my legs wide apart, resting. This isn't a wall, I acknowledge that, but I'm showing as if it were a wall. Okay? So you have your legs up the wall. I can show here. It gives you a different orientation. For example, you could have your legs, this is a day bed, you could have your legs on a day bed. There's various things around your house, sofas, but walls are great. I just don't have one on camera. So from here, like we did earlier, this inner groin area should release towards your inner knees. In fact, you should feel a lengthening of your inner legs all the way towards your inner heels. And then you're going to catch your elbows and extend your arms towards the wall behind you. Okay, those of you that are doing Shirshasana headstand, you've got to stick with the basics today. I'm not instructing it, but you know, you've got to press down through your forearms, like dog pose, lift your inner upper arms up towards the ceiling, and then continue that lifting action all the way to your outer hips. Now, those of you in Salamba Shirshasana, you're welcome, if you're open to a variation, you're welcome to widen your legs, release your inner groins, come into Upavisa Konasana in Shirshasana. Now, if you're curious what this looks like, you can look in Jump for Yoga. Gita Iyengar shows this in Jump for Women. Those of you that have grabbed your elbows like I have, you're going to change the grab of your elbows. So the other elbow, you're grabbing the other elbow with the other hand. Adjust your shoulder blades as needed. Keep softening your groins. Now at this point, those of you with your legs spread on the wall, you may be able to take your legs a little closer to the floor. But be careful that both feet are the same distance from the floor. And you're not just letting the side that's flexible have that leg move down while the other leg doesn't. Okay, so those of you that are grabbing your elbows, you're going to take your hands to your inner knees. Bend your knees out to the side, bring the bottoms of your feet together, taking Baddha Konasana on the wall. Those of you in Shirshasana, I want you to bring your legs back together to the classic Shirshasana position. Press your forearms down, lift your shoulders up, and then maintain a lift through the shoulders as you very slowly lower your legs down. Now, those of you that are experienced, you'll take both legs down at the same time. Rest your forehead on the floor. Those of us that did the legs up the wall variation, take your hands now to your outer knees, draw your knees together, and pull your knees towards your chest. And then again, those of us who were in the legs up the wall variation, roll to your right side and sit up. Those of you in Shirshasana, you also can sit up. Okay, so now going to Dandasana. We'll do some seated forward bends. So here, you're going to take your hand behind your right knee, move your right knee out to the side. Watch what I'm doing with my left leg. I'm releasing that left foot. I'm holding the inside of the knee and then pulling that knee in like a Janu Shirshasana. So the two legs are doing different things. I'm going to scoot over. Some of you might need to sit on a blanket. Remember, the blanket is there. But I want to scoot over so it's more visible. Okay. Now, from here, you're going to turn to the right, turn towards your straight leg. If you can, put your hand on the outside edge of your right leg. If you're not able to do that, you can just put it in the middle. And then take your right hand and walk your right hand towards the wall behind you. Now, when we do twisting poses, it's important that the diaphragm band is soft. On your next inhalation, lift your chest, and on your next exhalation, start to turn. And then come back through the center. Observe how that twist felt. Keep your legs where they are. On an inhalation, lift your chest. And on an exhalation, you're going to turn to the left. You see, I'm putting my hand on the outside of my knee. If you're not able to do that, of course, the hand can go in front. Now, my left hand here, I swung back. It's behind me, the center line behind me. And again, I'm going to stop talking, soften my diaphragm band. And then once I do, it's easier to turn. And now you're going to come back to the center. Watch, I'm taking my left hand behind my left knee, drawing the knee up, straightening that left leg out to the side. Now taking my right hand behind my right knee and pulling that right leg in. Same thing we did, but other side. Just scoot back just a tad so everything's more visible. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to turn towards the left leg. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, this is the more challenging turn. It's more challenging to turn towards the straight leg, whether it's the right or the left. So, softening my diaphragm bend. On my inhalations, I lift my chest. On my exhalations, I turn. And then come back through the center. Now you're going to turn to the right, which probably will be an easier turn for you. So take advantage of these easy turns to start to instill in your body how it feels when it turns easy. Diaphragm band is soft, for example. Navel band is receding slightly. And then turn back to the center. Watch, I'm going to take my right hand behind my right knee, lift it up. Now, I'm going to take your left hand behind your left knee. We're going back where we were, but we're doing something a little different this time. Okay, so you've got that. You're using a blanket if you need to under your buttocks. Now this time, look, I'm going to lie down over my left bent leg, and my right buttocks have lifted. That's fine. And then I'm going to very slowly move. So I'm not over that left leg anymore. I'm moving towards my right leg. I'm going to go slowly, go another stage. I can feel the resistance increases as I get closer to that straight leg. And now I'm going right through the center, going closer to that straight leg, a little closer, a little closer. And now, if you can, you're going to grab the inner and outer edge of your right leg, bend your elbows out to the side, and extend the crown of your head over that leg. And then on an inhalation, go ahead and sit up. Take your left hand, lift your left knee up, straighten your left leg. Take your right hand, bend your right leg, bring it in. And then turn over your bent leg. Easy, fairly straightforward, forward bend over that bent leg. Okay, if coming all the way over the legs is not possible, you can do the movement from a more upright position. Now I'm going to come off that bent leg a little bit. Okay, that's different. And then come a little bit more. It's a slow, steady progress. And then a little bit more. And a little bit more. Now I'm right in the center. Now a little bit more. Where's the resistance start to build? And can you practice the art of letting go when you find that resistance? A little bit more. I can even feel it in my arm. A little bit more. And then grab the inner and outer edge of your foot. Bend your elbows out to the side and bring the crown of your head towards your foot. And then take your hands on an inhalation. Come up and up. Now take your hands behind your right knee. Draw your right knee up. Straighten your right leg. Upavista, Konasana, wide leg pose. Both legs are in the same position. Now place your hands beside you. Lift your chest up. And then you're going to come towards the wall in front of you. I'm not going down as far as I can. I'm going to walk. See, I'm upright a little bit. I'm walking. I'm walking. I'm walking. Hands on either side of the foot. Now I'm going to walk the other way. Just using my hands to walk. Little toes stay up towards the ceiling, middle of the thighs. Move down to the floor. Now I'm over my left leg. Okay, so I'm feeling this. I'm not maxed out. Okay, now second round, I'm going to come farther forward, whatever that is for you. And then one more time, just walking around with my hands towards my leg, bringing my hands on either side of my leg, right leg. And then I'm just walking, not quickly, but also keeping a sense of momentum. Walking over and then over my left leg. And then I'm going to walk back to the center. Walk my hands back. And then bring my hands behind my knees. And cross my legs. Sitting with my hands on my thighs. Sit for a moment. Close your eyes. Let everyone catch up. And then change the cross of your legs. Again, resting your hands on your thighs, observing your existence deep inside. And then opening your eyes. Okay, so this next pose, Supta Baddha Konasana, can be done without any props, or if you have a pair of blocks, you're going to find those and put them end to end. Do you see how it's like I have one long block? So blocks are end to end. And then you're going to take a blanket, if you have one, and put it over the end of your block. Okay, those of you without blocks and blankets, you can just lie on the floor and do this. Okay, so I'm going to lie over the blocks, placing my head on the blanket and making sure that the end of the blocks, which are right here, are not in an uncomfortable position. Now, I'm going to bring the bottoms of my feet together, take my knees out to the sides, and then turn my palms up towards the ceiling. So join me either with or without blocks underneath you. So we've done a lot of opening in this inner groin area. You should feel a lot of freedom here. If for some reason you don't feel comfortable with your legs open like this, you can make some very gentle fists and place your hands under your legs. That will lessen the groin stretch. Okay, it's not everyone doesn't need to do that, just those of you who need it. Now, as you're here, again, soften and spread your navel band area. Soften and spread your diaphragm band. Now, start to bring yourself back in the room. Take your hands to your outer knees. Draw your knees together. Roll onto your right side off your blocks. And then sit up. At this juncture, those of you that would like to set up for Salamba Sarvangasana shoulder stand, whether classic or in the chair, go ahead and do that. Okay. Those of you that are not doing shoulder stand today, I'm going to ask you to take your blocks. Do you see the blocks at the flat gauge? And look, I'm going to put the second one on top of it. Now, I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So the blocks are going to be down. You're going to take Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, supported structure of a bridge pose. So you'll press your heels down. Look, I have this flat block. Press down, lift up, put that flat block under, you can see. And then I'm going to take this second flat block. Here it is, flat block. I'm going to press, lift up, and stack that second flat block on top of the first flat block. And as you're here, tuck and roll your shoulders under. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling. Some of you will want to straighten your legs, pressing through your heels, pulling the skin
the front of your thighs towards your hips like we did for the standing poses. Okay, do what feels right in your lower back area. Those of you in shoulder stand, classic shoulder stand, walk your hands down your back, lift the skin of your back up towards the ceiling, aligning your hips directly over your shoulders and your knees over your hips, heels over your knees. For those of us in Setu, put your hands right in that diaphragm band area. Palpitate that area with your fingers and notice whether that area is an area that feels tight on you or whether that's an area that's soft and open. You want it to be soft and open. Okay, so once you've established what the state of it is, you can leave your hands there and use the warmth of your hands to soften and release that area. When you're able to do that, your breathing quality will improve naturally. Now let your arms rest by your sides on the floor. If your back feels like it's starting to complain, you can see how I've adjusted the pose by bending my legs, placing my feet on the mat. Just be sensitive to what your body needs. So we're all alone together right now. Very true. And so, although we're together remotely, you're alone practicing. And so, even more than you usually do, you have to be sensitive to how your body's feeling, and you have to self adjust your poses. I can't see you, so I can't do anything to adjust your poses other than to make various suggestions and to encourage you to self adjust, to tune in to what you really need and make adjustments accordingly. Okay, from here, if you haven't already, bend your legs, place your feet on the floor. Those of you in shoulder stand, start to make your way out of the pose, come to Halasana. And then those of us using the blocks, press your heels down, lift your buttocks up. Notice I'm taking one block away. Just gonna pause and feel that. Those of you that are in Halasana, take your belts off if you use them. Bend your legs as you roll down. And then back to people doing the pose with me. Pressing your heels down, you're gonna lift your buttocks up and take that second block away. So now you're lying on the floor with no blocks underneath you, legs bent. And then when you're ready, you can stretch your legs out one at a time. Now, as you're in Shavasana, final relaxation pose, in some cases, you'll want to put a blanket under your head. So be sensitive. Does your head feel like it's in an awkward place? Is your chin pointing up towards the ceiling? Is the back of your neck compressed? If any of these things are true, then you would benefit by putting a blanket under your head. Otherwise, just lie back and deeply Let go of any thoughts, past or future, of any observations, body or breath. Relax through your jaw, throat, tongue. Recede your senses inward and let go. Now start to bend your arms. Place your hands on your abdomen. Bend your legs. Place your feet on your mat. And then roll onto your right side. Press your left hand down to sit up. Find a comfortable seated position. And take a moment to observe how you feel, body, mind, and breath. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so very much for joining me here